Fiji will be gunning for what is a poor Wales side and a possible route to the knockout stages. My name's Mark, let's talk rugby. Wales v Fiji, it's at the Stade de Bordeaux in Bordeaux. It is a Pool C game. It's on Sunday the 9th of September and kickoff is 8 p.m. BST. So this is World Rank 10 versus World Rank 7. So Fiji are the highest ranked team in that pool as things stand, and probably the form team in there as well. I'm going to have a look at the two teams, starting with the Welsh team. So front row, we got Gareth Thomas, Ryan Elias, and Thomas Francis. You know, of the players that I've seen that are available to them, probably their best front row. Then second row, Will Rowlands and Adam Beard, with a lot of retirements. I think that is their best second row as well. Then you got Aaron Wainwright, captain Jack Morgan, and Taulupe Faletau. So it's good to see that Faletau is, you know, back and available for them as well. It's a decent back row, I think, that I have there. Morgan, you know, has shown he's worthy of that captaincy, I think, because he's probably has been their form forward in recent times. Into the backs, then you got Gareth Davies and Dan Biggar, or Gareth Davis, sorry, and Dan Biggar. So, you know, Biggar with tons and tons of experience. You know, we know that there are a lot of inexperienced players in the Welsh squad, but I think a lot of experience actually found its way into the starting team for this one. You know, Biggar is going to steer that ship around the place, and he knows what he's doing at World Cups as well. On the left wing, then you got Josh Adams, you know, another player who I thought he might have missed out to Rio Dyer, honestly, in terms of form, but you know, Gatland obviously trusts him and has him in there. Centre pairing then, Nick Tompkins and George North. Like, you know, Tompkins has been hot and cold. North, I was a little bit maybe sceptical about his ability to do a job at the centres, but I think he's probably been Wales's best centre over recent times. Then he got the speedster Lou Rees-Sammet on the right wing, you know, but he's got to offer just more than his speed as well, though. You know, although that is a massive threat, you still want to see a bit more from him and maybe coming looking for work. So hopefully we see that. Liam Williams there at fullback. I think definitely their, you know, best fullback that they have available. The only problem with him is he seems to pick up a lot of knocks, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has to go off at some point during the game because of some kind of knock. Onto the bench then, we've got Elliot D is the replacement hooker. Then we've got Corey Domachowski and Dylan Lewis. So, you know, not as much experience coming off the bench for them. We've got Daffy Jenkins covering the second row. We've got Tommy Reffel there. Reffel has been decent when I've seen him. Replacing 9, Tomas Williams. I thought that he was going to be the starting 9 for the Rugby World Cup, so it's interesting to see, you know, that Gatland has gone for Davis ahead of him. And we've got Sam Costello there at 10, another player who looked like he might be, you know, in position to actually be the starter. So there's obviously going to be a point to prove for when both of those come on. And you've got Rio Dyer there at 23. I think he can offer something for them from the bench as well. On to the Fiji team then. We got front row is Aroni Maui, Sam Matabesi and Luke Taggi. So both of those, or sorry, all of those have looked impressive when I've seen them. And, you know, Fiji scrum has looked strong as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go against Wales. Then we got in the second row, Isoa Nasila Sila and Te Ahiwaru Siriki Daveta. So they did struggle a lot in their lineouts, so that's something that they're going to have to improve on, even against, you know, what has been a poor, you know, Welsh outfit, because, you know, Wales have had that time in camp now, and, you know, I don't expect them to be as poor as we've seen them, but if Fiji can get about them still, that they could cause them a lot of problems. Onto the back row, then we got Albert Tuisui, Likima, Tagita, Kivalu, then we got William Mata. So like Bill Mata, you know, when I've seen him in the URC, the guy is just amazing. So it's great to see him back in there. He could definitely cause problems for Wales with his ball carrying ability, especially, you know, in the 22 and close to the line. At halfbacks, then we got Frank Lamani and Teti Tella. So Tella has been decent in, you know, the little bit that I've seen him as well. Left wing, then we got Vinaya Habosi. Again, another good threat with ball in hand. Semi Radradra, been excellent anytime I've seen him. Then we got Waisia. So somebody told me how to pronounce this, so let's see if I get it right. So it's Nadia Thelevu is the way I think it was written out. So he looked excellent as well when I've seen him against France. And then we got so it's Celestino Rabu Taumada. You know, don't know as much about him. Then we got Elisa Drausisi at fullback as well. Onto the bench, then we got Ikanibere, Ravai, and Doge to come on in that front row. You know, they look decent as well when they come on. You know, I think the set piece really has improved for Fiji, and, you know, I think the fact that the Drua have been there really has helped them out a lot, and they're just a lot more organised around things like set piece, mauls, etc. Then we got Miana Vanua and Levani Botia. So Botia, excellent for La Rochelle this year. You know, one of the stars of the Champions Cup, and he's going to have a hell of an impact when he comes off the bench. Then we got Kuruvoli, Tuisova, who another player I think who's going to have a big impact from the bench there as well. And we've got Makala to round off the 23. So very strong team from them. And looking at the two teams, I think like Fiji probably in terms of individuals have the better individuals, and then the fact that they've got that collective, you know, fusion and cohesion from the Drua as well, I think is going to help them. Obviously, some other players coming in, not in the Drua, but it's not a case of just players coming from all corners of the world anymore and having to form a team in a couple of weeks. So I think that's going to really help them in this one. The last time that these two teams played was in 2021. So that was at the what's it called? It's the Millennium Stadium, but it's not called the Millennium anymore. It's something else, right? But that stadium anyway in Cardiff with the roof, and it finished Wales 38, Fiji 23. So, you know, fairly comfortable win for Wales. They've won, you know, the last 5 in a row. Fiji have beaten Wales once. That was back in 2007 in the World Cup, in France as well. And they won a thriller of a game, 38-34. So, you know, if we have a game like that again, wouldn't that be fantastic to see? Really exciting and on the edge all the way through. You know, these teams since then have met in the pool stages of every World Cup. So 2007, as I said, they met in Nantes in France for that 38-34 win to Fiji. Then 2011 in Hamilton, New Zealand, 66-0 to Wales. That's not going to happen in this time. Then 2015 in Cardiff, it was 23-13 to Wales. Then 2019 in Oita in Japan, it was 29-17 to Wales. And, so that was the last time they met in a World Cup. This Welsh team is not as good as that 2019 team that went to that World Cup. And this Fiji team are much better than the team that went to that World Cup. So how do I think this game is going to go? I cannot explain it. It's not anything logical, but I have this thing that I feel that Wales are going to make it to a semi-final. It's not based on any kind of logic. It's just a case of, I think Gatland is going to somehow get this team playing for this World Cup, and they're going to fall into a semi-final, or at least fall out of the pool, and then maybe have a decent game in their quarterfinal to make it to a semi-final. But I've seen both of these teams recently. Wales looked absolutely dire. Even in the win where they had over England, they still looked kind of the better of two really poor teams, rather than looking like they were clicking. There are areas around the game that look like for the back play that is getting better, but it's about now whether they've gotten that, whether it's going to click in this game, because I think it needs to for them to come through this. Fiji have been very impressive when I've seen them. It's not just a case of individuals anymore, and it's not just a case of let's just play some sevens rugby and get the crowd excited. They've added a lot more structure to their game as well, and that's the reason why I think Fiji are going to take this one out. Probably going to be a tight game, but I think Fiji are just going to have that little bit of an edge over Wales and take it out by maybe a score or two.